Welcome back to the lab, y'all. It is your old Professor Pilk, and of course, I'm coming back with another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet video, and once again, we're talking about the Rillaboom raid. Now, the raid is officially rerunning this coming week, but if you've never put your Switch back online, if your Switch is still in offline mode, you probably still have the raid. So, while I have the raid, number one, I'm going to farm it. That's just a thing. Number two, I want to test some of the things that you guys have recommended. So, a little background on this. I shared the build out on Twitter, and quite a few people were... Well, the Pokemon community is going to do what the Pokemon community does best, and that is try to flex. So, we're going to test out some of these builds. Now, some of these actually have some real good potential, got some really good advice. There's exceptions to that rule as well, but to start this off, we're going to try this out with Big Root instead of Metronome. There was quite a few people that actually thought that Big Root alone would handle this, and I don't think they fully understand that Metronome wasn't all about the healing, it was about the damage output, but you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. I'm open to suggestion. We'll give it a shot here. So we're going to switch out our Metronome for a Big Root, if I can find one here. So, per usual, just like before, we're going to open this up with Belly Drum. Reason being, Belly Drum just really lets you do a lot of... not Drain Punch, Belly Drum. Belly Drum lets you do a lot of early damage. It's just going to help out immensely. Now, in theory, and I will emphasize in theory... Oof. What was that hit? Good grief. Oh, no, that was our Belly Drum. Sorry. I am so slow. In theory, this will allow us to get about 30% more healing. Now, I don't think it's really honestly going to matter for the early game. What it's really going to matter is when we should be terastallizing and we're not. So, we'll take a look at this here and see what happens. So, we're going to do another Drain Punch here. Now, with Metronome, we were already fully healing here. I don't think it's really a relevant situation here. I think the biggest difference is we're just not going to get that incremental increase in our damage. But in the early game, it's irrelevant. I mean, Metronome at this point, we would have gotten an extra 20% damage there. And we're already hitting so hard, it really is kind of doesn't matter. Now, this is where it might actually become a major factor. Okay, so he just used growth. We're gonna hit pretty hard here. Okay, hit him with that Drain Punch there, Chief. There you go. Now what we need is we need a full heal. We need to be back at full health. Oh, good grief, that hurt. Let's see what this does here. Now, before we'd heal like maybe 80 health. Oh, not even. Even with Big Root, with the extra 30%, that was measly. Let's do a sheer heal. We're gonna need some health here badly. I don't think we can survive a hit. There we go. Now we can at least tank a hit or two. And let's see if we get ourselves back to full health. Okay, or we'll just take an L. Ever since the raid ended, I feel like they've buffed this guy a little bit. I really just feel like he's been way harder than he was when he initially ran. Maybe that's just me, but we're back at full health. We're good here. So we're going to Belly Drum again. Oh, we can't now because he hit us so hard. That was a big hit, guys. Alright, so we'll just, I guess we'll just terastallize and do Drain Punch. Although he's probably going to wipe us out here, I'm going to be completely honest. I think he one-shots us now at this point. Because he does have two big buffs on his side. Now, there's two ways to go about this, and I've kind of amended my run a little bit. Usually at this point, Yeah, see, there he goes. So remember I said there's always that one exception to the rule? I'm going to just let y'all enjoy this one real quick. Yeah. So you're going to sit here and try to tell me that you've got 2 Pokemon in a duo that you can trust to do any raid, any PvP. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to call. That is nonsense. Get real. Now, that aside, this next one actually has some potential to it. So, Metronome takes 6 turns with no interruptions to be worth it. Not about be worth it, but it is true. Full setup does take 6 turns. Focus Energy and holding a Razor Claw outperforms Metronome in most situations. You know what? I see the theory here. So essentially, what we're doing, and I've already put Focus Energy on here. You saw that earlier in the build. Essentially, what's happening here is you're using a Focus Energy and a Razor Claw to get crits almost every turn. Now, this once again will sort of require that you get the second Belly Drum off. I think. Maybe? Question? But we'll find out here. So, let's go ahead and jump into this battle. Now, if you guys want to know how to get an extra raid battle, how to spam these raid battles, I've dropped a whole video on this before, but in essence, what you could do is you could just reset the time in your Switch back to midnight 01 the following day. Once you go back into the raid, everything's going to reset essentially. You'll get a whole new set of raids, or go back into Pokemon. You'll get a whole new set of raids. Go find your raid, go to it, click on it, collect your points for actually just interfacing with it. Then you go back and resync your time with the internet, and you should be good. It should be fine. All right, so he's going to increase his attack. That is what it is. Not a whole lot we can do about that. But we're going to open up with Focus Energy this time instead of Belly Drum. Now, I know Belly Drum would get out some early damage, but this time we're not really going for like a speed run. I want to kind of compare the damage that we would get from Focus Energy and Drain Punch versus, you know, what we got before with just base Belly Drum and Metronome. So already getting a really good hit out there, but it wasn't a critical hit, was it? I think this might be the Achilles heel in this in Focus Energy. Maybe the RNG factor might. Okay. Super effective. Critical hit. Nice. Good. Actually, it looks like the previous one did about the same amount of damage, so it probably was a critical hit. So the health bar's not nearly as low as it would be otherwise, but that's because we didn't do the early Belly Drum. I'm going to do one more Drain Punch. That's going to give me an opportunity to Terastallize when I'm ready. Okay, full heal here. And he is going to Boom Burst. So nice, we got another critical hit. Okay. Here comes the Boom Burst. Oh no, that's just a stat nullification. Now, I don't know if the stat null will nullify the Focus Energy. Oh my goodness. Really? 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 That's how we're going to play it, huh? Alright, it is what it is. Now, so long as he doesn't use Acrobatics, we should be fine. Acrobatics is going to hurt. That's for certain. We should resist low kick. Or not resist, but we should be able to tank low kick. Got another critical hit. So that's really nice. We're almost fully healed again. So that is great news. We are definitely getting some stellar heals out of this. We will probably get a full heal with this Drain Punch. There we go. Now, can we belly drum in this turn? That's going to be the big question. There we go. We're pretty close to full health. I'm going to go ahead and do belly drum. So long as he doesn't do acrobatics, we'll be good. Low kick. Belly drum. Let's go. Now, just to make sure that we get this out, I'm going to do a cheer heal. Normally, I wouldn't. Normally, I'd do a drain punch and hope for the best. But number one, we don't have metronome. We're not built up. Number two, I want to make sure we're getting these hits out because I want to compare the damage. So let's see. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Love to see it. All right. So now the drain punch should be hitting about as hard as our full metronome drain punch did. If he gets the critical. Ooh. That was a good hit. I'll have to compare those bars side by side. I think that actually might have outdamaged metronome. I'm going to be honest. Let's see what happens here. This may... I'm not going to lie. I'm actually impressed. This may outdamage metronome. That did outdamage metronome for certain. Color me impressed. Color me absolutely blown away. Woo! All right, shouts out to you. I was skeptical. I'm not gonna lie, I was completely skeptical. But Razor Claw and Focus Energy made all the difference. That critical hit ratio is just holding on tight. And it doesn't look like we needed the extra Focus Energy after the Statinol. So, unless Razor Claw is just doing its thing, but doesn't matter on this hit. It's a done deal. Another critical hit. So, I stay corrected. Better than Metronome, Razor Claw, and add Focus Energy to your repertoire. So, shouts out to you. That is phenomenal. I'm shocked. So there's one more thing I really want to mention here, and that is something I hadn't considered. Now, and I can't believe I hadn't considered it because it's so easy, but essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to slightly modify this, right? This person says, I've been using Iron Hands in my group, setting up a near one-hit KO potential using Drain Punch. Vigoroth will taunt, preventing bulk up, then spams Chilling Water. Iron Hands sets up Electric Terrain, Focus Energy, and Belly Drum. Now, then Vigoroth uses Helping Hand, and Iron Hands uses a Terastallized Drain Punch. The difference here is there was no mention of the items, so I'm going to keep Metronome in play. What I'm going to rely on here, for better or worse, I'm going to rely on Focus Energy alone just to give us the critical hits. So, because Razor Claw really didn't do anything. So in theory, what this does, and one thing I forgot here, was to include Electric Terrain in my build. Electric Terrain is going to power up the Quark Drive on Iron Hands, and essentially Electric Terrain is going to give us 30% extra attack power. So it's just kind of silly not to go about this, right? It's just ridiculous not to use this. Just extra damage chilling on the field. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up with Focus Energy. That's going to give us some critical hits, hopefully. It is RNG based, but, you know, it is what it is. Go ahead and do a Drain Punch to get some healing out here. And then I'll start setting up Electric Terrain here in a moment. Might get 2 Drain Punches out before we set up Electric Terrain, but we will set up Electric Terrain, that's for certain. There we go. We'll do another Drain Punch. I want to make sure we can Tera, so, you know, I'm not super worried about this. Downside is with the grassy terrain, his grass moves are going to do more damage. So hopefully he doesn't do that. We got a critical hit there. Super nice. Okay, stat nullification incoming on the next turn. So let's go ahead and electric terrain on this turn. I don't foresee Drain Punch doing a huge amount here, just because once he's terastallized, it just kind of is what it is. So with Focus Energy and Electric Terrain, we should be producing a good amount of damage. Now Belly Drum, on the other hand, is really what's going to sell it. So long as no one changes the terrain back, I say that because I've had that happen. Here comes the stat nullification. We'll take a big hit on this turn. There we are. I don't know if you can even stop that with Taunt. I honestly have no idea if Taunt will even stop that. Let's go ahead and do a Hang Tough here. Increase our defensive stat. That's essentially just going to help us out in the long term because it'll prevent us from getting essentially one shot by any of these super effective moves. There we go. That did nothing. Literally nothing. So, we'll go ahead and do a Drain Punch. See if we can restore some energy here. Didn't do much, but did we get a good amount of healing? Got a critical hit. Good healing for not being terastallized. Great healing. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and Sheer Heal. And then we'll set up Belly Drum and see what we can do about some of this damage. Okay. Rillaboom, what you got? Not much is the answer. So we'll go ahead and do a... you know, I'll go ahead and do Belly Drum on this turn. He hasn't been hitting us with much, and if I do... I'm afraid if I do Terastallize on that turn, he'll probably wind up hitting us with Acrobatics. Here comes Body Slam. It hurt, but it wasn't detrimental. Okay. The downside is, once again, I'm going to play this a little bit safe, and I'm going to do another Cheer Heal. Only because I don't want to risk it on 64 health and try to do a Drain Punch and then just get knocked out and lose all this effort that we put forth. So, hopefully we can survive these next two hits, because we will get hit twice. Oh, can't move because it's paralyzed. Perfect. This is a perfect situation. So, we'll go ahead and Terastallize. We'll do Drain Punch. Electric Terrain is not back out, but we'll go ahead and reinitiate that. And then we'll see how much damage we can get. It was the setup on this one was a little sloppy. There's probably a better way to do the setup on this. I'd have to run it a few more times to get the setup just right. Plus, there is some level of RNG when it comes to, you know, the way Rillaboom hits and all that stuff. Man, I love watching this work. The downside is that I think the one big downside of this, I don't know if Metronome's going to have enough time to actually set up. So that's hit number one, but we're going to Electric Terrain, which means Metronome's got to set up again. There's actually a distinct possibility you might not even need a Belly Drum in this situation. There might be just enough raw damage here that after the stat change, you just Belly Drum. Ooh. You could put an item on him that would increase his physical damage output or his fighting damage output, and that probably would do more than Metronome. I'm gonna gather in this situation. This Focus Energy is gonna give you the critical hits. Let's see what happens here. So this hit should be about 20% harder than prior. There we go. Okay, we'll do another Drain Punch. I feel like we're doing less damage this time around. I don't know why that is. Oh, there we go. And this is it. So I think that would have been 40% extra damage. This would be 60% extra damage. So the reality is if I can... if I could build up Drain Punch before terastallizing, that'd be really hard to do. I don't know if we could stall him out long enough to do that. It'd be interesting to see how much damage you could produce. But either way, it's kind of pointless. So yeah, add Focus Energy and Electric Terrain to your build. You will produce like crazy. It is nuts. Absolutely nuts the amount of damage you can do like this. I'm glad. I'm really glad these two people had chimed in, because this really kind of opened opened me up to a bunch of different possibilities here. Rather than Focus Energy, probably using something else, an item that, or using Focus Energy, but instead of using Razor Claw, I mean, something that increases the physical damage rather than the critical hit ratio. I think Focus Energy does enough for the critical hit ratio. Probably instead of Metronome, drop another item. I don't know off the top of my head what would do that, but either an item that increases physical attack or an item that increases fighting attack damage. Then Electric Terrain for the extra 30% damage. Belly Drum to max out your stats. And just go to town with Drain Punch. So, interesting. I appreciate the input, guys. That has actually improved the run. The only downside is I think there's more setup, and I tried to make it oversimplified, but, you know, I'm not mad that somebody was actually able to improve on it. So, there you guys go. Like, comment, share. We all learned a little something today.